I think I have some of the most amazing mentors on the planet and they don't even know I exist. I heard entrepreneur Rachel Hollis say this on Amy Porterfield's podcast recently and I loved it. I totally agree. So technically, the two ladies I'm going to talk about today know I exist. They're not my mentors in real life. I want to show you how I sync up two tools that I use in my life and my business. Those are the Powersheets goal setting tool from Laura Casey's business, Cultivate What Matters, and the Simplified planner from Emily Lay's business, Simplified. I know there's a lot of people out there who use both of these tools, so I want to show you how I sync them up and get them working in tandem. Let's go. Welcome to another episode. My name is Ashlyn Carter. I'm the calligrapher and copywriter over here at Ashlyn Writes. I help creative women like you work from a place of rest, not hustle. Before we dig into today's content, quick disclaimer, yes, I talk about these tools a whole lot because I love them and I use them every single day, but I'm not going to dig too much into how to set them up. I've recorded videos on that in the past, so I'm going to link those below in the description box. There are a lot of fabulous planners and goal-setting tools out there, but these are the ones that make me happy and also come with really supportive communities of women and, like I said earlier, mentors I can learn from. Okay, so step one in syncing your Powersheets to your Simplified planner is annual prep for both. As some of my best friends have started using Powersheets, I always recommend just schedule like 2, maybe 3 nights where you're going to be home or just can kind of figure out some alone time. I love to pick a night when Wes is either working late or he is out with his friends and it's just me time. So I will light a candle or get a mug of hot tea or sometimes a glass of wine, let's be honest, and just sit down and really dig into setting my own goals. I've been using Powersheets since 2015, so for me, this is like a December annual thing that I do, but you can start whenever you want. So whatever is a good time for you, I just recommend setting apart those few nights. Now, I will say that Laura Casey does a really good annual blog and kind of challenge and kickoff where she walks through this curriculum that she started every year for free. So that's something you can look forward to. I'm pretty sure it's around November that she gets going with that. Now, around the same time, you're going to want to go ahead and set up your Simplified planner as well. Emily gives a great guide all at the beginning on how to set it up, but follow your basic planner setup thing here. Birthdays, anniversaries, times when you're going to be out of town, blocking all of those things out in your planner. I use both the monthly spreads for this and the daily, I write things twice, but that has helped me kind of keep track of things a little bit better. Side note, I do want to let you know that I use a big wall calendar, dry erase, laminated calendar to plan the business. I do this because it sits kind of to the left and all during the day. I glance at it probably 300 times during the day just to get a visual sense of space in the year. So that's something that's helped too. I know that's a lot of calendars, but that helps if you're visual like me and you need to see things kind of all at a glance. Before we move on to monthly prep, let's talk about how to sync the tools at the annual level. One thing I do as I work through my Powersheets is jot some of the things I'm learning, the lessons, the messages that I'm hearing in my new planner. So I will write kind of notes to self throughout the year, bits of encouragement, things to remember and keep top of mind. Ashlyn, you've learned this before to help encourage me. I also set up the sidebar on the monthly spread kind of as a seasonal or bucket list. This is an idea that I got from Emily. I used to put goals here, but that was a little bit too much. But being able to have more bucket list items, who cares if I check them off or not, but they're good ideas and I remember them throughout the seasons. Next up is monthly prep. So in advance, you want to block out a few hours either at the end of every month or right at the very beginning of a new month. I do this during my monthly duty day. This is something that I started pretty much right when I started my business. I got the idea from my friend Pat Schmoyer. I have took it and run with it in my own business, and I've written a how-to post on how to do that if it's something you're interested in. I will link it below in the description box if you want to run one in your own business. The first thing I do when a month ends is look at the past month and do an after-action review. This is not in Powersheets. This is something that I've watched and kind of learned as I look at Michael Hyatt and how he runs his business. I write down a few things here. How I saw the month going, any disappointments that I experienced, 2 to 3 of the big themes that I learned that month, and then definitely the biggest lesson I learned that month. Then I move on to the new months tab. I fill out the 4-ish pages in Powersheets, and I also fill out the brainstream page. Now, you know I'm anal, I've warned you, but this list I really keep as just a deferred task list. So pretty much anything in my brain that is a to-do that has to get done, I just put it on the paper. I feel a whole lot better if I can see things they stress me out less. So I can keep that as a continued deferred tasks list, which means I transfer it month to month, but that makes me pull off things that I'm like, you know what? Not important. We can live without that. But it also is a space for me to just get out everything that's in my head. I also write the business's quarter. I run the business on 90-day year goals right here, so I can keep them top of mind. Then I fill out the Powersheets tending list. Now, there's no right or wrong way to do this. I don't think, after doing this for about 3 years, but just pray, meditate, work through it, and set the goals that you think you need to set. In doing this, I flip back and look at my big goals in Powersheets. I look at my business's 90-day year goals, and I look at the list of deferred goals and tasks. Now it's time to sync it up with your Simplified planner. So if I had something that was in the weekly section of my Powersheets, I'll go ahead and put it on my Simplified planner to-do list. For example, I've tried to start planning my weekends on Wednesdays because I was getting to Fridays and realizing I hadn't planned anything fun that weekend or anything to look forward to, so I've started trying to get better on that. So on Wednesdays, I'll write down that task. I also make sure at this point that any dates in my planner or things that I've written down in my Powersheets where I'm going to be out of town or on vacation, I have marked those in our Acuity scheduling planner. This is something that our clients use to schedule meetings with us. And I definitely want to make sure I don't run into any bit where they may schedule something on a day I'm actually out. Lastly, if there's any goal here that I need my husband Wes for, I use this time to shout to him in the other room, whether it is planning a date that I wanted, or if I want to have people over, I should probably tell him, that kind of thing. I'll communicate it to him at this point. Then weekly prep. So you've done the hard work, and at this point, it's just smooth sailing. Like Emily recommends in a lot of her videos, I do this on Sundays. I spend about an hour every Sunday doing the following things. I write out any appointments that have made it onto the Google Calendar that we use at work, onto my Simplified planner as well. I meal plan, so I look at our week and I either put in an Instacart or an Amazon Prime order if I need to. If I need to cancel HelloFresh or whatever it is, I will do that during this time as well. Third, I look at my Powersheets and I pick out the big three. So I look at the goals and I figure out what are the 3 non-negotiables, the 3 things that I have got to get done this week, come hell or high water, and tick them off because these are going to inch us closer on the goals. I go ahead and set those at the beginning of each week. I actually put these on a post-it note and I just move it onto each day in my planner. Then I always make sure I record a happy memory in the space that's given in the planner. I also do one more step here that isn't in Powersheets, but I started doing this on my own on the wildcard, the blank pages that are in the Powersheets. This is my week review. I write down how I did on my big 3, the lessons I've learned, and how I'm going to adjust moving forward. This has helped me a whole lot. I also go ahead and flip to the last page in Powersheets at this point every single week and write down my 3 big wins for the week. I do this because I was getting to the end of the month, and when it came time to record the things I was excited about, I couldn't remember 3 days ago, much less like 20 days ago. So by doing this every single week, at the end of the month I look and I realize I kind of did a whole lot, and that feels good. I'm not going to dig too much into daily planning and syncing. I really just have my tending sheet beside me all day, and I have my planner open as well. But 2 things here. I do write down my daily to-dos. Emily mentions this a lot. I write like personal and household to-dos from the bottom up, and I write business to-dos from the top down. I pick 3 things, I write 3 tasks under them, and that helps me a whole lot. I also, if I don't get something done, draw an arrow through it and move it to the next day. If you don't use either of these 2 tools and you're interested in them, I will link them below so you can check them out and shop. Both of these women put out such valuable tools and wisdom on how to set goals and how to go after things in life. They've helped me a whole lot, and I hope that some of these tips help you too. As always, hit subscribe if you want to be the first to know of more videos just like this, and I'll see you next time.